Episode 10,616 to 10,617 is Monday the 18th of April 2022 at 2000 hours on ITV. When Amy tackles her in Victoria Gardens, a pale Summer loses her temper and tells Amy to back off. Jacob has taken advantage of Evelyn over ordering alcopops. Having bought them, he is selling them in Victoria Gardens for a profit to pay the rent. Simon reports Jacob to the police, and as they arrive at Victoria Gardens, Jacob does a runner, leaving the final 2 boxes of alcopops on the bench. The police officers find Summer slumped on the bench next to the boxes of alcopops and, assuming her to be drunk, take her down to the station. Amy and Audie call at the police station and tell Craig about Summer's arrest and how they suspect she might be suffering from her diabetes. Craig hurries to the cells, where he finds Summer in a diabetic coma. Fearing the worst, Craig shouts for someone to call an ambulance. Will Summer be okay? Meanwhile, Imran meets up with Ben and instructs him to find out everything he can about Abby Webster. Toya is not impressed with Imran's dirty tricks, but when she hears Abby and Elliot discussing ways to scupper Imran's chances of custody, she tells Imran she supports his plan to prove Abby is not fit to be a mother. In the neonatal unit, Abby tells them she wants them all to be a part of Alfie's life. Will Toya still support Imran? Elsewhere, fed up with the fact that Daniel is spending so much time with Nikki working on the Edinburgh trip, Daisy calls at the school with a packed lunch for them both. When Mrs. Crawshaw tells her to knock before she goes in and then seems surprised when Daniel introduces Daisy as his girlfriend, Daisy's paranoia reaches new heights. She tells Jenny she is going to find Nikki a man to keep her away from Daniel. Also today, Maria is horrified when Beth shows her a photo in the Gazette of the fight at Rick's funeral. Ed and Paul find a holdall containing £17,000 under the floorboards at Rick's house. What will Gary do with the money? Finally, a new client calls at the solicitors and insists Adam sees her right away. Adam apologizes to Sarah for the fact he had to work on a bank holiday and promises to prioritize more family time. Episode 10,618 to 10,619 is Wednesday the 20th of April 2022 at 2000 hours on ITV. Aware that it's Nikki's first day in her new job, Daisy suggests to Daniel that they all meet up for drinks after work as she'd like to get to know her better. Nikki arrives at the Rovers, unaware that Daisy is trying to set her up with her ex Ashley. Nikki is embarrassed when Ashley clearly recognizes her. As Nikki makes her excuses and leaves, Daisy is stunned to discover that Ashley knew Nikki when she was a sex worker. Daisy decides the time has come to confront Daniel. How will he react? At the same time, Ben calls at the solicitors and, having failed to find any dirt on Abby, suggests that for a one-off fee, he could set her up for a fall. Imran refuses and instructs him to keep on digging. Meanwhile, Billy summons Todd and Paul to the cafe and tells them about Summer's eating disorder and how they all need to look out for her. Summer is mortified that they have all joined forces and is upset when Audie quizzes her about a basket of food she has bought for the food bank. She realizes Todd has asked Audie to keep an eye on her. Todd feels guilty when Billy reveals she was telling the truth, but Billy makes a shocking discovery. Elsewhere, when Eileen invites George for dinner and asks him to stay the night, she is hurt when he makes an excuse. As Todd and George discuss the funeral arrangements for Mr. Little, it becomes apparent that he's a bigamist and there are 2 Mrs. Littles, blissfully unaware of each other. Also today, Sally returns from Gina's to find Elaine and Tim ensconced in front of the TV. Realizing that Elaine has got her feet well and truly under the table, Sally's miffed. When Sally asserts that it's time Elaine moved out so they can spend some time in the bedroom, Tim hides his anxiety. Finally, as Kelly irons her dress for Laura's funeral, Gary and Maria dread the day ahead. A weary Kelly returns from her mum's funeral. Gary offers to bank the £17,000 for her, but a cagey Kelly makes out she'll do it herself.